What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. This one's going to be interesting. I just finished watching the Week 10 matchup between my Pittsburgh Steelers and our old rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. Needless to say, if you've seen the game, by now you probably have, you know the Cowboys have won 35-30, in probably what was one of the better games of the entire NFL this season. Excellent game, back and forth. Both offenses shining, both running backs shining. Really fun game to watch. Heart tugger for sure. Definitely made you have 9,000 heart attacks. It was definitely a game for both fan bases to really enjoy. I've got a lot to say about this game, so let's get right into it. I'm going to give you guys a brief review of some stats and moments and keys to this game we saw today. Mostly from a Steeler perspective, but some Cowboy stuff in there as well. But I'll say this ahead of time. I'm not a big swear guy, but I'll be swearing in this video. So if you guys don't like swear words, turn this thing off. If there's kids in the room, mute this, please. It's going to get a little bad. Stat-wise, Ben Roethlisberger, 37 of 46. 408 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. No interceptions, no fumbles. Ben throws for 408 and 3 touchdowns. Hearing that, you'd think the Steelers got a big win today. No. Le'Veon Bell, 17 carries, 57 yards and a touchdown, plus 9 catches for 77 yards and a receiving touchdown. Sounds good, right? Antonio Brown, 14 catches, 154 yards and a touchdown. With those numbers, and hearing Pittsburgh put up 30 points, you'd feel pretty good about their chances to win almost any game. Not today. This Steeler defense is so completely fucking rotten. This Steeler defense is trash. They are so bad out there. It is just so disheartening to watch them. And I gave them excuses because against Baltimore they only had the one long play given up and they were fighting a little bit. And, you know, they had guys that were injured. Now it seems like the team is mostly healthy for the most part. We're still missing Bud Dupree at linebacker, and we are still missing our cornerback, Senquez Golston, who hasn't played for us yet. So there are 2 possible playmakers not playing, but everyone else is back. Jones is healthy, Shazier's healthy, Cam Hayward's back. Everyone's back in the lineup. So we have this defense, this team we've cultivated on defense now. And the culture has just become so lazy on defense for us. Our tackling is so bad. We were always known as the steel curtain. Well, steel curtain my ass. The steel curtain is now a wet towel because we look horrible. That steel curtain is certainly in the days of the past. This is not your grandfather's Steeler defense of the 70s. This defense is so porous with so many holes. They don't get enough pressure on the defensive line. The tackling of the running backs and stopping the run, which was always our strength, is so piss poor. It's ridiculous. That's what now, 3 running backs in the last 4 weeks that have totaled over 200 total yards on us from scrimmage. We had Jay Ajayi do it. We had the running back after do it. Baltimore did okay running the ball. And then this week, Ezekiel Elliott, 21 carries for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, plus 2 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown receiving as well. So over 200 total yards from scrimmage for Ezekiel Elliott. Let me say this. Nothing taking away from the Dallas offense or the Dallas team. They came into this game 7-1. They were like number 2 or 3 by my power rankings. They're one of the best teams in the NFL right now. The culture on that team has totally changed from Tony Romo being out. The Cowboys have been known as a joke for years because Romo just stinks and he's not clutch and he finds ways to lose and they're an accident waiting to happen, as Stephen A. Smith says and all that. Under these 2 rookies, under Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, this team is the real deal. They're 8-1 now. They deserve every single accolade and praise I could give them. Dak Prescott lets the ball loose. He's not conservative play calling. He has a good arm. He has good directional throws. Zeke Elliott is great with cuts and patience and his speed, and he's strong. These 2 guys could be franchise players for this team, taking this team deep in the NFC playoffs for the next 10 years together. These guys are the real deal and should be the starters for the rest of their careers if they keep this up. They're on fire. But that being said, I can't tell you how bad I want to just chastise the entire defense here. Dallas stats real quick. Dak Prescott, again, 22 of 32, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Excellent, mistake-free game from Dak Prescott. Made big third down conversions, made big throws in the clutch. Again, Ezekiel Elliott over 200 yards total. Dez Bryant was another big guy for Dallas, who plays on my fantasy team as well. 6 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Big day for him against Artie Burns, the rookie, who got torched constantly. A couple things on defense that I want to point out. The Ezekiel Elliott was like a 70-yard touchdown reception, was a screen pass. Dak Prescott threw about a 5-yard floater screen to Zeke Elliott, and Zeke ran about 70 yards. So once again, nobody reading on defense, nobody able to tackle. Zeke just streaks down the sidelines and walks in, I'm pretty sure, untouched. That's how bad that was. Another situation was the last drive of the game. We'll get into that. A couple things. Pittsburgh did go for 2-point conversions 4 times in this game after 4 touchdowns. They were 0 for 4. I'm not going to belabor that point too much because the first one after the first touchdown was kind of random. You know, they always sort of do that. They love to go for 2 at the beginning of the game. They didn't make it. So from there on, each time after that, it was dictated they would go for 2 to make it a touchdown game or a 1-score game or whatever the case may be. They sort of had to go for the last 3 2-point conversions. The play calling on those conversions was not very good. Ben was looking for receivers. Nobody got open. That was on the play calling, and that was on the receivers not finding distance to catch the ball. But again, that's not a huge deal. The points do make a big difference in a 5-point game. That would have been an 8-point swing. So that obviously makes a difference, but not a huge one for me in this case, just because other stuff was bigger. Some of the play calls were bad here. Again, 3rd down and long, Ben throwing little screens and dumps to Bell or Brown. I don't like those. Too conservative sometimes. It wasn't as bad this week as it has been in the past 4 or 5 weeks, but it was still bad. Still too conservative. Still throwing the ball short of the chains when you got to get first downs. So I don't care much for that. That's got to change. What else here? Oh God, there's so much that I can go off on. The penalty for Sean Davis. Sean Davis did lead the team in tackles today with 5. He did make a few nice plays. He did get a big 3rd down stop in the 3rd quarter. He also got a tackle for a loss in the 3rd quarter on a good read. So Sean Davis came in, made some good plays. You guys know I like him. I see potential in him. I think he could be our next big starting safety. He's not going to be like Troy levels or anything, but he could be a really good starting safety. He did make a bonehead face mask at the end of the game, which took them into Dan Bailey's field goal range when Dallas was down by a few points. So that was a really bad mistake in the 4th. But he did make some good plays again, and that it didn't really matter because Dallas just ran the ball down our throats. Every single time, they just pounded the ball with Zeke and with Alfred Morris. And just the tackling is so bad. And also the coverage, I didn't really get into, but Jason Witten had 7 catches for 60 yards. Again, Dez, 6 for 116, including a long touchdown, which Artie Burns got burnt. Artie got destroyed by Dez, just on a streak down the sidelines. Dak just threw it up, and Dez just destroyed Artie Burns. Artie Burns needs a lot of work. He gets burnt a lot. He does have some good ball skills when the ball's in the air, but if you're behind the play by 5 yards, you have no chance. So Burns needs to be taken to task and really worked on because they like him as a starter now. They think he's number 2 cornerback, and I don't know if I see it right now. He got destroyed all game long. He did stop a couple 2-point conversions for Dallas, but whatever. Ross Cockrell made 1 or 2 deflections, but he doesn't look that good to me. Cockrell and Gay both getting beat a lot of times. And there were several drops today. You know, these stats, Dak Prescott 22 of 32 for 319, doesn't include 4 or 5 drops. I think Witten dropped 1 or 2, Cole Beasley dropped 1, Dez Bryant dropped 1 in the end zone. So this could have been much worse than it even was. Again, so I can't say enough bad things in this game for Artie Burns, for Ross Cockrell, for William Gay. Pretty much everyone. I mean, Stephon Tuitt had a sack, which was a positive, but he didn't do anything in the game. Cam Hayward didn't get any pressure. He was very quiet today. Probably still recovering from injury. He's a very good player, very excellent player, but didn't play very well today. Just nothing from Hargrave today. Nothing much out of the linebackers. I will say this: Ryan Shazier is a shining star, as always. He got a fumble recovery today. He got several huge pressures. I think he had 4 tackles. Shazier is just sniffing out plays left and right, reading defenses, speeding down the field. He's the one shining star. He's the only guy that looks like he gives a fuck out there that even has a clue as to what's going on defense. Shazier is the only guy reading plays, jumping on the ball, following through with tackles and actually doing form tackling. Everyone else just off. Timmons looks a step slow. Jarvis Jones wasn't really existent today. Arthur Motes, you can't find that guy on the side of a fucking milk carton. He was nowhere to be found. Robert Golden never does much of anything out there. He's another guy just floating around in the fucking abyss of mediocrity. He's nowhere anywhere to be found. So, Anthony Chickalo did make a few nice plays, did force a fumble, so good on him. Chickalo and Davis, like I said, made a couple of plays today. Shazier was good. Other than that, every other person on that defense was trash. To sum it up at the end of the game, Pittsburgh winds up being down by 2 or 3 points. Ben drives us down the field, takes us 75 yards for a game-winning touchdown, supposedly, on a fake spike. Ben drives us down the field with Jesse, with Eli Rogers, who made a few nice catches today, including a touchdown catch. He played well. I do like Eli Rogers. I see him getting better each week. Rogers and James make plays today. They play well. They get down the field. Ben gets down there, and I called the fake spike. I saw Ben look at Antonio Brown and do the spike motion and nod his head a couple times. I was screaming fake spike. I knew it was coming. And he did it, two-handed fake spike, throws it up to Antonio Brown for the touchdown, much like Dan Marino. Excellent play of the year type caliber stuff. And then, so the Steelers are ahead by 5 points. They missed a 2-point conversion. Pittsburgh's ahead 35, or what is it? Whatever the hell it was. Pittsburgh's ahead by a few points with like 45 seconds to go. I think it was a 2-point lead. Pittsburgh's up by 2 with 45 seconds. Dallas has their timeouts. So the question becomes then, can Dallas get to the Steeler 40 or 35 yard line to get in Dan Bailey's enormous field goal range? Because Dan Bailey can kick from about 55 or 60 yards. So you're thinking, will the Steelers bend or break, or will they hold up and not allow them in Dan Bailey's field goal range? That doesn't even freaking matter, because the clueless defense lets Zeke Elliott run after the stupid penalty. Sean Davis gets the face mask penalty, gives up 15 extra yards. They get several first downs. Jason Witten torches the linebackers like 4 times, and they get down there, and Zeke Elliott just runs in the 30-yard touchdown, untouched, just breaks through the line. And so Pittsburgh doesn't even give Dan Bailey a chance to kick the field goal. They just let Zeke Elliott run right past them and untouched and scamper in for his third rushing touchdown his third overall touchdown of the day. So, again, you can't even chastise the defense enough. Antonio Brown takes the ball back on the last play of the game and almost scores, gets to about the 30-yard line. So again, Pittsburgh puts up a ton of yardage. Bell runs the ball solid. Ben passes the ball for over 400 yards. Brown gets 154. Eli Rogers looks good. Jesse James looks good. The offense puts up 30 points and plays their hearts out and gets a game-winning drive with less than 50 seconds to go in the entire game. Drives their team down the field, and it's all for naught because the stinking defense ruins it for everyone. They aren't even trying out there. The tackling is just morbid. No one's reading anything. It's just miserable. So Pittsburgh loses 35-30. Our record's 4-5 now. We've got a losing record. We've now lost, in my calculation, 4 games in a row. We're a full game behind Baltimore, plus the tiebreaker right now in the division. Good thing is the division freaking stinks, and Baltimore's not good anyway either. So we're going to wind up being in decent shape because our strength of schedule over the last 7 games is among the weakest, if not the weakest, in the entire NFL. We could easily be 7-0 if we don't keep playing defense like this, because the way we play defense right now, if we're playing this way next week, Cleveland can beat us. Cleveland, the 0-10 Cleveland Browns, the shittiest franchise in all of sports right now, can easily run the ball down our throats with Duke Johnson and score touchdowns on us. I could see us losing next week if we play defense this way. But thank goodness for Ben. Thank you to the offense. Defense, take a shower, get some rest. I hope you think about this and it haunts your dreams for the next week, and you step up next week, play with some guts, and actually make some plays. I will see you guys next time. What'd you guys think of the defense? What'd you think of the game? Who should I give praise to? Talk about it down below. And I will see you guys hopefully with a much better performance from our stinking defense next week. It's been Football Focus. Take care, guys.